Yeah, I forgot. There we go. Hello. Welcome to the set stream. Let's just wait for people to get in here before we get to set news. I'm just gonna pull up this one right here. 86. Hello. Thank you for the like there. Pull this one over here. Go post. There we go. All right. So, India TV. Hello. India is called Bharat. Uh, Now, or that's at least the officials that are stating that, and that's what supposedly because most Indians actually do call India Bharat, and it's a common name for India in India. So they've chosen to actually change the name of India to Bharat. That means when you're booking, tickets or talking about them officially, you would have to say Bharat now and not India, which is probably going to be an adjustment. I can already see, some politicians talking about India going India, and then people are like, oh, it's called Bharat. And I'm like, oh, yeah, right, yeah, sure, It's a historical old name. India is very old, but Bharat is what they call it. So, yeah, it's fine. Who in reality really cares? I do, but I don't know. So, oh shit, I gotta turn off some of these live streams here so we don't get so much noise in the background there. Don't want that so much. All right, so we have some videos here of not the most pressing news here of today, and I don't know if you heard, we are having we had a mass earthquake here in Morocco, and the total death toll was about in the thousands. They're not completely sure yet, not total in the death toll. I'm sure we're going to get a final confirmation at any time, but it's probably too early to say the total number, but it has hit in the thousand. We'll get to that. First, I'll show you a video here of the Armenian army moving toward the border. They changed all the brakes sign. Yep. The flag is remaining the same, so I don't know, but yeah. Well, they do have to change the names of it. That's true. The Armenian army is moving towards the border with Azerbaijan. The Azeri army is conducting large military exercises, and the Armenians are claiming it could be cover for planned military aggression. So historically, these countries, they do exercises as a pretext before war. We've seen Russia do it. Why not? So the situation is very tense in the Caucasus. So yeah, the situation is a tense situation here. You get videos here. This is the Armenian army moving up in long convoys here. You see how hot it is. But look at the screen there. That's not just buffering from that's literally, I think, buffering from the heat there. Kind of looks like what you'd see in a movie, right? But these are video images of convoys moving here in Armenia throughout to the Caucasus, where the Azerbaijan army is holding military drills here at the moment. It could flow over. There's been diplomatic solutions that had also cooked over. Turkey has just announced that it's itself, black and white here, but all right. Turkey has just announced that if there is taken any military aggression, I think it's actually against Azerbaijan, the Turkey's army would be quick to react, which is a, no, sorry, that's not the truth. So there was a different. I get the one that they talked about here. I think Terror Alarm was talking about it. I think I have put it in here. Let me just check. Yeah. So Turkey warns Iran, that's what it was, over Azerbaijan. If Iran intervenes in Azerbaijan's affair, the Turkish army will react quickly, Minister of Foreign Affairs. So that's the Turkish army wanting to, well, let's be honest here, invade or at least have some kind of retaliatory attack against the Iranian army, because it appears to me that what they're talking about here is the possible a very tense situation in where the Turkish armed forces are ready to move if Iran supports. I think Armenia against Azerbaijan or stuff like that, So, or the other way around. It's kind of like a hard situation here to understand. But it's coming in as we are sitting here. Now, there's a multitude of all kinds of things coming in here. So we have the official one here. The African Union has become a member of the G20. Here, Indian PM Narendra Modi welcomed the president of African Union and president of Comoros Al-Sia Usman, to the first G20 summit as a. So here we have a picture of that. Not the most pressing news there, but just thought I'd share that the African Union is now part of the G20. Sorry. Official map of Ukraine's sovereign territory has been banned in Russia. No surprise there. Erdogan urges G20 to meet Russian demands on grain deal. Of course, Turkey is always on the fence of those things. But no, I don't think we should. Courtesy of the free will of our nations. Okay, so here we have another one. Armenia's PM has also called Blinken to, among other things, talk about the buildup of Azerbaijan forces around Nagorno-Karabakh, which is in the Caucasus, which is where they have been building up forces. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan, Hiroshima, had honored the victims of the Russian aggression in Bucha, the Kiev region, the embassy of Japan in Ukraine. He's putting down flowers here. Get a good look at this one here. If you have the Japanese PM walking up to I think this is in Japan, but it's at the Ukrainian embassy in Japan, where he honors the victims of. I think it was close to that year ago when we had the Bucha massacre, as you guys probably remember, the fashionable one that Russia did, and Russia claimed Ukraine did. So Russia claimed that Ukraine killed millions, not millions, but thousands, or at least in the hundreds of people, and massacred and shot them in mass graves and buried them in the ground, because that, Russians claims that was what the Ukrainians did, despite everybody knows that was what the Russians did. Monsters, really. So let's get to the Moroccan side here. The total death toll for Morocco earthquake rises to 1,037. There's some routes. 1,204 people were injured. 720 of them are in serious conditions, the report says. The U.S. Geological Survey says it was the deadliest earthquake in Morocco since 1960. We have images of it here, in where you could see, this reminds me very much of Turkey. Just quite a poor infrastructure, where these things, they simply just fall down. I mean, this was a mass earthquake. Even the best of the buildings obviously fallen doing this, but these ones even seem a little bit more stable than what the Turkish had built up, because the Turkish, they didn't even have fucking steel in them. These appear to have some sort of steel embedded in them, and these are rescue missions and rescue operations going on down there. See if I can get you a video of the live moments here, what happened in Morocco. Heaviest rainfall ever recorded happening in Hong Kong, which I showed you a video of at the first day, which was some of the heaviest rainfall. Don't put me on the wrong thing here, but the world's at the knees right now, because apparently their Mother Earth, or Mother whatever, Mother Nature, is pretty mad. So yeah. It surprises me that there are not videos of things going. Okay, so Atlas and towns are in ruins as a result of the Morocco earthquake. Death toll now at 1,300. We have a video here. You can see this building itself is just simply, you know, it looks like it's just split apart, which is, you know, look at that. I mean, look at just down the street there. It looks like, yeah, terrible, terrible. You know, these are not things you would want to see throughout these days, as this is a very serious situation going on here. You know, we're talking about a pretty big death toll. Although of course it could have been worse, and there has been death tolls before that may have been out total that, but that doesn't matter. You know, this is a serious situation. Had a very strong earthquake today, a few hours ago, a few months ago. Turkey and Syria, Indonesia, etc. Nobody noticed that it is spreading. Which country is next? The world is changing, and no president or government can do anything about it. God help. Yeah, there seems to be a mass. I don't know if these are tectonic movements, but these are certainly changing times here. You got another video here. This right here, just want to point out here that I don't know if there's any, oh, there's nobody. Yeah, so there you go, you know. There's obviously people screaming in the background here. Not sure if that, I don't hope there's anybody who was dead in this video here, but injured, screaming these. Yeah, don't really know why they're screaming so much. I mean, I'd be screaming, but kind of seems a little bit irrational, perhaps. There you go. There you go. Look at that. I mean, these are, you know, houses just completely leveled. I mean, this is, you know, it used to be houses right here. You know, woke up this morning, used to be houses. You know, it's insane. It just collapsed under itself. Most of them, it looks like they've just collapsed upon itself, which is insane. I mean, let's not forget that the infrastructure of these countries are not always the most modern, but of course, you know, that doesn't prevent us from pointing out that no matter what an earthquake happens in a country, you're gonna see you know, devastating events happen. So I think that's it for me when it comes to the Moroccan, where I hopefully send the praise to the people of Morocco and hope that that we don't find any more injured or dead. I hope that we are now at the end phases of this, and hopefully be able to move on. But yeah, let's ensure that they're safe and spoken for. Okay. So, still a lot of stuff going on. I mean, we have reports here. Denmark is training Ukrainian in Leopard tanks. There are Russia is steadily experiencing price increase for a variety of goods and services. Food, gadgets, tourism, gas, vehicles, and real estate has all gone up in percentages. So it appears to me that people are now hoarding in. As you can see, there's videos here. I don't know why. I think Russia is stuck in the past, because these videos here are very bad, poor quality. And they all look the same, but I don't know. Yeah, appear to be stealing from each other or something like that, or at least taking the necessary things that they need to take by now, as they're now realizing that the prices of everything is skyrocketing. And they are wanting to get ahead of the, you know, inevitable skyrocketing of money rocketing. You know, it's going to go up by more points, as I think the Russian miracle for the sanctions are wearing out. You know, it's only going to last so long when you're no longer supplying oil to some of your biggest pay offers, and you know the rest of the world are now standing behind the factor of not wanting to support you. Eventually you're going to start to lose money. I mean, I think the investments that they made and the things that they had to start with was paying off most of their bills, but I think at this point they're probably running out of the ideal you know, conditions to obtain such an economy as they've had to somewhat obtain, you know. But at this point, you know, people are looking more and more desperate, lining up. I mean, this is the start of the end here in Russia, as we're seeing real estate and everything skyrocket beyond anything that we've seen for a long time. And it is to point out here that this is what our goal was with these sanctions was to make sure that this was that in fact they were gonna skyrocket in prices and put pressure on the Russian people to pressure for a peace with Ukraine. And this is working footage here. There's multiple explosions here in Crimea, forest fire. Now, and Romania has reported it's found the wreckage of another Russian drone on its territory, right next to Ukrainian Danube River ports in Rini and Ismaili. So, pictures here. So you have, apparently, what they've now said that I think this was the area where we had the first rocket. So this area right here is where the Ukrainian port of Rini is. And this is Ukraine, obviously, you can see that, right? And this is the area in where they've said that they've now found a second Russian drone. I've said it, said it before, and I said it again. What happens when you're giving a bunch of people that have never shot a gun before and tell them to hit a needle? You're gonna expect them to miss. When we're talking about massive military targets and we're talking about precision hitting something, and when you're, experienced, as unexperienced as they are, it's hard. It's hard to imagine that they're gonna in any way I don't know how to put that. Hit the target that they're set to hit? No. Michelle Obama. Oh, there you go. Holding a mountain. Oh, okay. Fair enough. We got explosions here in the background of Ukraine. From Kramatorsk, it appears. Witchy. Alright, sounds good. Okay. So, calls on America. Michelle Obama calls on Democratic Party to nominate. Well, she doesn't, but America calls the Democratic Party to nominate Michelle Obama. Getting louder after sources from both far right and left wing claim that Michelle Obama has agreed to enter the 2024 race and become the Democratic presidential nominee due to Biden's declining health. Didn't hear of his declining health, but all right. Oh, sorry, you can see that. But look at this. So they're calling for it. Michelle Obama, 2024 presidential nominee. She is a very attractive woman. I would be mad, Don't you mean Big Mike? Big Mike? What do you? Who's Big Mike? Rose, hello. All right. Yeah. Elon Musk sabotaged an attack on a Russian fleet in Crimea by turning off Starlink. Has also been reported to have been happened. So yeah, it appears to me that I just can't imagine that what he's doing is out of the pure ideology of money. I have a feeling that Elon Musk has this sort of, well, how would you put it, dark side. I feel like he has a darker side to him that we might not know much about. His ideological side. The man is from South Africa. That's one point. But yeah, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. You get what Rose was talking about? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't get what she's talking about. I'm sorry, I don't get that. Would someone explain it to me then? Because I am not completely sure as to what you guys are talking about. What's her name? The old lady. What's that old lady's name? You know, the one that's in the U.S. Senate. The old lady. What's her name? Desire. Hello. What's her Americans? What's the Nancy Pelosi? There we go. Has stated she's actually got a image of herself, like a painting of something in the White House, I think, or something like, or the congressional or something. I think she's also talked about running for another term. That man, you know, love her or hate her, you gotta admit, she keeps going. You know, a lot of people hate her, a lot of people love her. I don't know, love her or hate her, she keeps going. I have a multitude of respect for Nancy Pelosi, and people might be, how dare you? And I say, the reason why I say was that she went to she went to Taiwan despite China saying that she shouldn't. She went to Taiwan despite China saying that they were gonna, you know, shoot down the plane. She still went to Taiwan. Well, actually, you get it. And defied, China, and showed that not only did she show that China backs down on its promises, she shows that China, didn't retaliate, wasn't really shit, So I have a mountain of respect for the fact that she did that. Yeah. She's she's running for another term. How old is Nancy Pelosi? She's in her 90s, isn't he? Nancy Pelosi. There you go. Oh no, she's not in her 90s. I don't know why I thought she was in her 90s. She's 83 though. I mean, she's still up there, still going. Pretty much. ABC reports that the U.S. are now likely to send attackams to Ukraine. There we go. Now that one right there. Someone explained to me why we were saying Big Mike. Oh, hello. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the explosions. It's been a while since we've heard that one. I just wanna hear, because now I'm confused as to what you guys are fucking doing. Big Mike? She is really a man? What? What? Michelle Obama. She has children. You realize Michelle Obama has children, right? I mean, she's not a man. She's a woman. I'd believe the fact that she's a woman. She has children. So. All right. Well, that's why you call her Big Mike then. All right. I'm pretty sure she's a woman. Yeah. Pretty sure last time I heard, I'm pretty sure. Azerbaijan has achieved another stance to stay. Born a man? Here you go. That's a picture of Michelle Obama. Pregnant. That's from 1992, that one right there. Clearly looks like a woman. Yeah. There. You're pregnant right there. There she is. Pregnant. Oh, wait. What? That's not even her. That's Megan. Alright. It's not her. There you go. Another pregnant. There we go. Another one. Looks pretty pregnant right there. No, Michelle Obama is not a man. I don't know where you guys got this from. Michelle Obama is not a man. I don't know where you guys heard the fact that she was a transgender man. Michelle Obama is a woman. A strong one, in fact, I'd admit. But I'm very certain that she's a woman, as I have recollected the factor. You know, I'm pretty sure Obama is a straight guy. Lee? Oh. Yeah, I mean, pretty sure she's got two biological children, you know, so. Alright, that doesn't really matter. It's going to track some planes here. We got NATO 11 up heading towards the Black Sea. Now, NATO 11 is an E3 century, so that's a pretty interesting sight there. Sorry, I had to reload this thing right here because it wasn't really showing up. Yeah. So we got NATO 11 down here heading for the Black Sea. That's an E3. I have seen these. I have seen an E3 flying in these areas before, but I have never. Yeah, it's not that often actually. I don't think so. I mean, that's an increased surveillance project right there. You know, you guys do know that NATO, the U.S. has actually flown those E3s down there, and usually when they fly those E3s, they actually connect with Ukrainian ground targeting systems and help them target areas that are far away with their, you know, Patriot systems and all that stuff, or not. Well, Patriot. Well, the what's the HIMARS and stuff like that. I've actually used some of those E3s to down there to actually. So what the United States is doing, and this is just to point out just how fucking weak Russia is when it comes to their red lines. The United States, people call the United States weak. Do you know what the United States are doing right now? The United States is flying an E3 center, a command center, and a strategic helping. Well, you get it. To help Ukrainians' ground targeting systems to hit Russian targets. They're tapping into NATO equipment. They're tapping into NATO civilians and targeting systems, command centers. You say to me, oh, the United States are weak. They're not doing shit. You didn't fucking know, did you? The United States, you know, and every other country with some retaliatory means would have said, oh yeah, you do realize that the United States are actually helping Ukraine attack our troops. We need to retaliate. But Russia hasn't commented on it. They know it's happening. Of course they know, but they don't want to comment on it because if they comment on it, they're gonna seem weak as shit, you know. So, I mean, it's amazing. Azerbaijan secures support from Iranian army. All right. Today in Baku, a meeting took place between the Minister of Defense of Azerbaijan, Sirik Hasanov, and Iranian Major General Mohammad Ahadi. The sides discussed a regional situation and matters related to regional security. Yeah. Urgent update. Armenian Azerbaijan military escalation footage, massive military mobilization and military buildup by Armenian near the border of Azerbaijan. The units of Azerbaijan's special forces were deployed to Armenian border. It was stated that Azerbaijan army also sent an electric warfare system to the Armenian border. Oh, hello. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine at this point, guys, it's pretty much off the rails here. The funny thing about, how we come with Niger and all that stuff, they did set up systems, but, Niger and Africa, they sort of have that idea behind, they're gonna go to war sometimes, but then in all ends, they always go like, well, actually, these countries, here we have it. I mean, these are, of course, standard weapons. Again, AK-47 back there. These are, I think, the Armenian army, or yeah, I think these are the Armenian army. I'm not really sure. Of course, there's got to be music in the background. Probably not copyright. I don't know. Appear to be anti-air systems or anti some kind of war systems they got going on back there, or tanks or something like that. But that, so they're setting up positions all over. I mean, this is escalating fast here, and we're keeping our eyes on it. I'm keeping my eyes on it because I'm pretty sure no matter what, either to get to some kind of solution, or there is certainly going to be some kind of escalation here that could cause a well, we don't know about a full-scale war yet, but certainly a major war. And if Iran is now saying that it's going to support Azerbaijan in the invasion, you're looking at this knowing that Iran is an avid supporter of Russia, and now you're having Iran help Azerbaijan attack Armenia. So you wonder to yourself, and I think Turkey. I don't know. I think Turkey. I think Turkey said that it was gonna support Armenia. I don't know. But it was certainly, I don't know if it's going to help out. I don't know how many friend and enemies that Armenia has at this point. The United States certainly seems to be backing up on the Armenian side. So it's a funny situation here. Yeah, so it's a bit funny. The funny thing is, Armenia is one of the countries by the way, I was going to show you this video here. My bad. There's one I'm about to show you. Here you have it. There's a video of some soldiers here. It appears to be driving through the countryside here. This appears to be Armenia soldiers here. So, they're clearly realize the presence of these military soldiers, or soldiers. Of course, they're military. Yeah, so it's great. It is not the first time I think these guys have been at war. I think they've had multiple escalations for that. Shame and fabricated elections. Oh, yeah. Azerbaijan released election results before voting had even started. Well done, boys. Well done. This one from 2013. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get the news of Belarus here. I don't know if there's any special announcement. Yeah, I don't want. I happen to like Michelle Obama. I think she's pretty good. So I wouldn't know why you guys wouldn't want to like Michelle Obama. Well, that's up to you. We all have different preferences when it comes to politician leaders, or who we are and who we support, and that's up to ourselves. So yeah, I'd you're allowed to do whatever you want, of course, support whoever you want. We're joining Russia for the protect of liberating African indigenous people. Belarus President Lukashenko. Belarus has experienced an achievement to become an active participant in the socio-economic prosperity of Africa and its final liberation from the oppression. I think that's what Lukashenko said. Right. Okay. Let's get you the flash update from yesterday. I happen to have known that I wasn't live yesterday, but I have the video from September 8th from Flash Daily News. You didn't upload any from today, but we'll watch this so you can get the update on what you missed out from yesterday. We'll do that, right?
Так, класс. Ну, исправить уже, она не приключение, а природа.
Не, ноги ты, скоро, скоро давай. Здесь сюда, здесь сюда.
Oh, what the fuck did I just read? What the fuck are you talking about? What? The U.S. in conducting secret negotiations with Russia regarding the lifting of sanctions? What the fuck are you talking about regarding the sanctions? What the fuck are you talking about? We just saw the first implications that the sanctions are working. Now you're talking about lifting the fucking sanctions. What the fuck are you talking about? You're afraid to be cold, aren't you? You know, these countries right here, they're afraid to throw any money away. They're afraid to lose money, you know, because if they lose money, right, the factor is that they're going to be seen to be weak, right? All these countries right here, we got Switzerland, right? Fucking stupid Russian Federation, right? We got, I don't know what we got over here, the director right here, I don't know, Arab something. I want to point out these countries right here supposedly, you know, they're knowledgeable about the factors that this war is going on. You know, they're saying, oh well, you know, this war's going on, and we can't tolerate having to pay a little bit extra money to make sure that we have relief funds. What are you talking about? What are you talking about lifting sanctions for something that you fought so long before? Now, what they want is lifting the sanctions so they can get oil, right? So they can get their natural gas, you know. Because they're afraid of spending a little extra money getting it somewhere else. They're afraid setting it up. Because these governments right here, they don't want to do the hard work. You know, because they expect the hard work to come to them because they're the European Union. They expect the hard work to come to them. So this whole idea behind conducting secret meetings negotiating with Russia regarding the lifting of sanctions. Now, I don't know if these guys are going to vote yes. I think they're not going to do that. I think the Russian Federation are the ones who brought it up. The fact that they're even part of the fucking UN is fucking mind-boggling to me, but it's fucking stupid. You know, there's some stupid fucking shit to the UN because they are so afraid to spend a little extra money to just ride through the storm of war. You know, we have so little at this point left. I'm not going to point out here that we have beaten the Russians. We're beating the Russians. The Russians know it. We've beaten them. We have a little stretch left here. We are winning. We need to ride out the storm of war so we can tell the Russian Federation that one day we will win against you and you will have to face the consequences. Now, you know, this whole idea behind lifting sanctions, because now we're afraid that we won't get exactly what we want, because we're afraid that, you know, oh no, you know, Russia's mad, you know, Russia's crying. Let's you know, let's give it some help. What are you fucking talking about? Are you talking about, oh, you know, because, you know, the Russian people, they're starving. They're not fucking starving, okay? And first of all, you need them to be a little sad. That's the point of the sanctions. The sanctions was the point to put pressure on the Russian people so that we could get the Russian people to revolt against Putin to get him to pull out of this fucking war. If he doesn't have public support for this war, he can't just pull them out. He can't use force or everything. So I just want to point that out. This is fucking stupid. I mean, it happens, right? And this, yeah. There you have the money deal right there. Turkey right here. These sanctions right here, but I want to point out, in exchange for lifting sanctions of Russia must restore the grain agreement. Turkey has already said that they agree with these. It is stupid. It is stupid. Well, it's stupid that we don't just use our fucking forcible force to get the fucking grains out of Ukraine. It's stupid. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that bitch. Yeah, no, sorry that I got a little mad. Why the fuck do we even having to fucking barter with the Russians? The factor is, they shouldn't have a say. No, the Russian people are starving, sir. No, what the Russian people are doing, and I'll give you the fucking full answer here. What the Russian people are doing is saying that we're gonna make people starve until you lift sanctions so our people don't starve. Is that the fucking point? They brought it on themselves. It's not the, you know, yeah, it's just ridiculous. So I was gonna bring it up here anyways. We have Ukrainian pushes here on the near the Robotan here. Check this out. This is from yesterday and this is from today. So we can see it clear pushes. We got some main lines here. Not too much, but it is a main push, and Ukraine is still steadily advancing, which is a great thing to see. Now, there was other pushes. There were some pushes near over here. As you can see, there has been a push in towards the towns areas over here, and this little exclaves of, you know, this little area right here, which is heavily fortified by Russians. I would have believed that at some point, you know, Ukrainians are going to be able to liberate this area. This is a smaller exclave that seems to have been some kind of target that the Russians should not have been able to hold, but are holding miraculously enough. I think most of the forces that we have right now, the Ukrainian forces are locked up somewhere in Bhutan, fighting their asses off, which is necessary for this war. And yeah, we've said it before. But there was a small push from the Russians here in the area around, I think this is in Donetsk. Sorry. It's around here in Donetsk. And we've had smaller pushes here around, as you can see. Look at that. And that's, let's put that into perspective. This is the latest push that Russia has made in maybe a month. We're talking about less than a kilometer. It's incredibly just how fucking, unfathomably stupid and bad the Russians are at doing war. I mean, it's really, it's really great, I believe so that the North Korean president has stated that he is ready to conduct a arms dealment. So the North Korea is actually ready to say that, we are ready to put down an arms pact agreement with look at that. So they're actually ready to say that we are putting down a agreement with the Russians, saying that we are going to deliver weapons to them through our systems. So it's awesome. But we have a Iranian plane, and now we know that there was a major general in Azerbaijan conducting some of these how would you put that? How it's conducting some of these, what cooperation they're gonna have, and saying that Azerbaijan will be protected by Iran. And we have a ship here coming back, Boeing 747. Sorry, not a ship, a plane. Some of that's owned by Iran coming back from Azerbaijan. Probably some of those guys there. So I'll point that out there. We have that going up. Let's check 88B here going up. We're also going to get you the update on the Hurricane Lee, which actually throughout the day of when I was putting it out there, actually went to a hurricane category 5, which actually it got to the level of a hurricane 5 before we expected it to. But fear not, it is supposed to go down to a category 4, so that's way better. Yeah. You saw Florida just a few weeks ago. That obviously looked way better, didn't it? Boeing 767-200. That Air Force One? No. No, that's not Air Force One. All right, so like, there for a second. That's not Air Force One. All air activity. It is a Saturday, so I wouldn't expect that much air activity. We have a tanker. We have a P-8 flying over Denmark right now that is owned by the United States military. I bet it's going towards Kaliningrad if I gonna bet my dollars on that. Get it? We're talking about America, and I'm talking about dollars. Yeah, we're talking about the dollars here, boys. We're talking about the dollars. Got the P-8 and an Osprey. Other than that, choppers, cargo planes, all that. C-5s, big birds. Other than that, cargo planes. We got training planes. We got tankers. Nothing suspicious out of the ordinary. Not a lot of surveillance planes up, which isn't unusual on these Saturdays. The only thing that's surveilling right now, which is an interesting thing, is that we have a NATO 11. That it's actually right now. Look at that. So I mean, we do know that the Russians are targeting the areas around here in Reni and East Mali. So we got a NATO 11 and E3 tracking around here from Luxembourg, tracking around here and just near the Ukrainian border from Romania, and that's probably also out here towards the Black Sea, and that's probably because of these increased, attacks that has been recorded in the areas, or well, incidents. Let's call it that. So they're bringing out some of the big guns to be able to either detect or bring up the. I think the United States are also planning on helping Romania bring up its air defense systems, in case of anything else. So a lot of stuff there. We got Chevny and Sumy region has been hit by some kind of explosion here. Reports of explosion, and in Kramatorsk. I think we heard the ones in Kramatorsk here live on camera, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, what else do we have? We got this one right here. That's the one I was talking about. Oh no, where are you? No. Okay, wait. I can find it. I'll find it. Just give me 1 second here. Oh, there we go. So, North Korea is ready to sign an arms deal supply with Russia, Financial Times says. Pyongyang, which is the capital of North Korea, just for your information, can offer ammunition, multiple rocket launch systems, and short-range ballistic missiles. All this will help Moscow repel Kyiv's counteroffensive. Kim Jong-un, dictator, poised for an arms deal with Putin. North Korea leader growing alignment with the Moscow raises the risk of instability in an already dangerous region. Yeah, and it's pretty insane at this point, because I mean, I don't trust anything that comes out of North Korea. Well, not right now. I'm talking, production wise. Of course, some of them are bound to work, but I don't really trust the ideologies or even the even the ability that they're gonna explode. That's what I don't even know if I trust
photos that North Korea wants.
I don't know if I trust that, but yeah. I wouldn't trust anything coming out. I mean, we saw the submarine that they launched, which was a nuclear submarine, looked like it came out of a fucking toy car, so pretty insane. I think some of the agreements as well was also that Russia would provide some sort of, technological and aid along with food and other stuff to North Korea. One of the things that North Korea doesn't have is food, so. Technology, all these kind of things that Russia has. Well, they say they have, right? No, they have, but you get it. All right, well, let's check out. We have Starlink here. I think that Starlink is trending pretty much right now. Spotted on Ukrainian social media. Starlink is changing its names to Starlink. Tsar is the old name of the Russian rulers. It's actually the way he spelled it isn't right, but you get it. So, Tsar, which is spelled T-C-R-A, is also where Russia. I think that's where he got the set from. I'm not sure though, but yeah, pretty ominous there, right? So Tsar. So sorry, you probably heard about it before throughout those times there. We got a tanker down there. There's not a lot of things going on here. Let's see what we got going on in the world here according to flooding. Do we have any flooding going on? I think we had some still going on here near in China or something like that. Yankee Stadium is flooding 2 hours ago. Oh no. The Yankee Memorial, the Yankey Stadium. I don't know, is this true or not? Is this true?
Open the doors.
No, that's absolutely fine.
What the fuck's going on there? Oh, alright. Yankee Stadium is apparently flooding. Of course, why not? Probably some kind of guy who spilled his drink. you get it because drinks are. There are flooding in Saudi Arabia. Yes, because Saudi Arabia is known for its many rainfalls and extreme amount of waves, and yes, there's flooding. Look at this. I just search up flooding and videos of flooding comes up. Look at this out. Apparently from Saudi Arabia. Can't confirm this right here. I'll show you the video, see if I can confirm it. Mother Earth is definitely changing around us. This world is changing. I said it before and say it again. It's starting to get a lot hotter. It's going to get a lot colder. It's September, and it is record high heat in Denmark, which is one of the places that I wouldn't expect there to be much heat during this time. Norway and Sweden as well. These areas that used to be in September used to start getting colder. It is not starting to get colder. It is starting to get hotter. So, you don't, get me wrong here. Yeah, the end is, I would say, I mean, it's, it's hard to know, right? But, when we got flooding in Saudi Arabia, I think there may have been some kind of storm or something like that going on there that pushed some of the waves over, or high tides and waves or something like that. But it is certainly a weird situation that there would be even flooding in Saudi Arabia. Lee Hurricane. Let's take an update here and a rain check on the Lee Hurricane. See what's going on here. Do we have the guy that we like? If we got the guy that we like, let's see. Do we or do we not? I think we do. We got one from one day ago. Oh, but that's. Let's find one that's a little bit more recently, and then we'll trust them as well. Hopefully. All right, we got from 9 hours ago. Let's get this one up here.
6:40 on a Saturday morning, and you're waking up to WJCL 22 Morning News, and it is not a bad start out there.
This crazy with the sign on that corner just might be right on this one. Yeah.
This morning,
Germany as
but
well.
maybe some showers around a little later today. I'll detail that for you in future casts. Let's first track out the tropics. Of course, still remain busy. Last week, Idalia, we had to deal with that. This week, we've been really watching Lee slowly developing. You see it right there. Also, Margot is out over the open Atlantic. I'll track Margot out here in just a second. But the latest here on
Margot
Lee is
spelled MRAGOT. Just want to point that out.
still a major hurricane. Winds of 115 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 12. Could continue to weaken a little bit. Some strong upper-level winds, not allowing it to intensify a whole lot. Actually weakened it throughout the daytime yesterday. Could make it back up to a Category 4, and you see it tracking west-northwest, north of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic.
Tuesday is way past Tuesday. We are on Thursday right now. This does not appear to be new here. Sorry, guys. I don't know what this is on about, but this is not new news here. This is way beyond. It is Thursday right now. So he's talking about Tuesday. Well, he's talking next week, or he's talking about that? We'll take CBS News. Why not? Those are a little bit better quality-wise. It's freezing here today, 86 Fahrenheit. Well, yeah, freezing, right? Freezing, 86 Fahrenheit. Oh, it's freezing.
Along with the extreme heat, we are tracking Hurricane Lee in the Atlantic as it could potentially grow into the season's first Category 5 storm. For more, CBS News senior weather and climate producer David Parkinson is here in the studio. So, David, tell us more about Hurricane Lee.
Yeah, so Hurricane Lee is expanding at a rapid clip. So it was a Category 2 this morning, at 11 a.m. And now, believe it or not, the storm is already up to a Category 4 with 130 mile an hour winds. Look at this beast. You've got a beautiful eye center of the storm there that is really well formed. It's a very healthy storm. And it's over incredibly warm water. So I am expecting this to continue to develop, and it will likely hit Category 5 strength within the next 12 hours. In fact, if you take a look...
You don't have to listen to that, right? When is this from? It was from 1 day ago, right? He said, it's going to hit it with Category 5 within 12 hours. Likely, right? It is 1 day ago. It is at a Category 5 now.
Official track from the National Hurricane Center. Again, Category 5 storm by Friday.
That's the best thing about this one right here as well.
And then
so check this out.
By Friday.
So it is going to be at a Category 5 all the way up till that was Saturday. Then it turns down to a Category 4.
And then Friday afternoon, it's even stronger, 165 miles an hour. I mean, that is a wickedly strong storm.
Yeah,
and then even as we head into
165 miles an hour. That is not a small fucking storm right there, boys. That and ladies. That is a big boy right there, you know. And by the way, I want to point out that yes, it is densifying, but 140 miles as well, you know, Category 4. It's still a big storm, and now it's getting wider.
Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, it does weaken. That's good news as it heads towards the United States. But the key point to make is that this is an incredibly devastating storm that is right now away from any sort of land and is likely to stay that way for a little bit of a while. But then we want to talk about sort of what the scenarios are. So we've actually got two storms that we're watching. We're watching Lee, and then we're watching another storm. That will be your M storm still to come if it develops. So the question is, where does it go? Here's a couple of little scenarios and little things that we're watching here in the weather department. So the first is where we have a cold front coming off of the East Coast. So with that cold front, you would potentially have the storm tuck underneath it, and then it's got nowhere to go because it's essentially being pulled along underneath the cold front. And that's where you could have your potential impacts for the East Coast, be it Long Island, Cape Cod, down East Maine, or into Nova Scotia. That's scenario number one. The cold front moves quickly. Also, we're tracking where there's going to be a high pressure system that's over the Great Lakes, where exactly that one sets up, because as you know, air goes around in a clockwise fashion around a high. And so the question is, where exactly does it play in between that? And then, of course, where is this other storm? Because if the other M storm keeps it further away, it keeps itself further away, then it's got a little bit more room to run. If not, it actually pushes it towards the coast. So that's one scenario. The second scenario that I want to point out here is one where it actually does not get caught up by the front. Instead, it stays out to sea because the front is slow to arrive.
That's scenario two. And that's the one that they're saying it's going to take, which is good. Right here, right? This is one they're going to take. This is one they're saying it's going to take, right? Which is good. So check this out, right?
Presumably, it's not being pushed by another storm. It's not being caught by the cold front. And in this case, the best possible scenario is it goes right up towards Newfoundland and Labrador. So that is really what we're watching. But the important point is all of this is late next week, Elaine. Wow. So we've got a lot of time. We're 8 days at least from any U.S. impacts. And so as a result, we'll take that time to refine the forecast. Nobody is in the clear completely yet, but I'd say you're probably at less than a 20% chance of a U.S. landfall. And in terms of anything south of the Outer Banks, your chances, well, not zero, are pretty darn close to it.
All right. We know you're going to continue to watch this very close.
All right. So there you get it. You got your Hurricane Lee update there. It appears to be densifying as we're going to get down to a Category 4. Could be potentially impacting, but as you said right there, it has a 20%, less than a 20% chance of actually impacting. So, yeah, it is not probably not going to impact. And that's a slim chance of impact when we're talking about hurricanes here. But I'll kind of think can happen in 8 days. If anything was going to hit, it's going to happen in 8 days. Just want to point that out. So now you got it. Now, if you want to point it out to people, want to pass it on to people, do that. Keep yourself updated. I'm going to keep you updated. So, yeah. Armenia and Azerbaijan agreed to hold talks in the next 24 hours. Smart move by Armenia to negotiate, as it could lose its entire country if it continues the provocations. All right, I don't know why. See, you know, again, if you're making a report, don't personalize it, or bring your own opinions into it, or bring your own ideologies. Make a report, then talk about your opinions. Don't, yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. You didn't properly want it to do it like that, but you know, you get it. But yeah, we're seeing maybe this escalations here. We're gonna negotiate. I was saying it before that they're you know, talking about the possible negotiations, which is good. So. Hi, Patrick. Oh, look at this. Watch the moment a Chinese guard vessel appeared to deliberately close in on Coast Guard PH vessel, almost in the act of ramming before pulling back. Al Jazeera was on board the PCG ship on one of two escorting supply boats. The troops at the second Thomas Ayung shall our reports air soon. That was a lot to read. Here you go. We got a video of actually. This is just examples of what China does. You know, China is incredibly annoying, and is incredibly, you know, it's incredible that they continue to do things like this every single day. They are mocking everything that we are building, or we are trying to build. They are provocating everything, and nobody dares, or nobody says anything about China, which is why multiple times I've said that China is a fucking asshole. Okay, and I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, they're gonna fucking try and hack me or something like that. No, I don't give a fuck, because China is a fucking asshole. Okay, they're the ones who are dumping radioactive materials in the fucking oceans, and they're the ones who are stealing water from the Mekong River. You know, water supplies that Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam relies on for, you know, their food, for crops, for living. And they're not, you know, allowing it to flow through the fruit countries. So it's, you know, China is the progressors when it comes to anything, and they are the aggressors. So there you go. Look how relaxing they are as well. They, you know, look how they, you know, and look at what he's doing right there. You may think they're about to ram there, but look at what that guy's doing right there. He's holding up a camera. He's not just, what they're doing here is that, yes, they're trying to, you see on the side there, it says China's Coast Guard, right? They're far from the coast. Just want to point out that these guys right here are far from the Chinese coast. You know, this ship is nowhere near the fucking Chinese coast. If they're passing by a cargo vessel, they're nowhere near the fucking Chinese coast. You know, do you see the fucking coast anywhere near? You know, I mean, I get the United States operates pretty far out from their coast sometimes, but it's called a Coast Guard for some, you know. I mean, you don't drive out to ram cargo vessels for no fucking reason. And this guy right there, check him out, right? He's filming the ship, serial numbers. He's filming how it looks. He's filming probably what's on board. They're talking back. Should we ram them? Should we board them? You know, this is what they're doing. This is what they do. You know, so check that guy out, and then, you know, look how they're backing up now. They've been told now. Oh yeah, no, don't go into these guys. You know. I'm talking about this being the clean. China is also proclaiming some of the times when, you know, how technological advanced they are. And I want to point out something. Look at the back of the boat when they're backing up. You know, this is supposedly to be, you know, the new Chinese technology. Look at the back of the boat when they're backing up. That's exhaust. They're literally having, you know, the spewing of what comes out of their engines coming out of the two holes there in the back. You can clearly see that, right? It's coming in and it's going out. But look at it. I mean, what the fuck? You know, this is supposed to be some of the new tech right there. It's spewing soot. into the fucking ocean at every single moment it's in the fucking ocean. And people, they're like, oh, China, they got all the latest tech. No, they don't got shit. All of the shit that they build are usually shit. I mean, I'll point that out again there. But this is just one of the examples of what China does every single day. It's not a joke. They do it every day. Within the next 24 hours, Azerbaijan and Armenia is supposed to have these talks, these diplomatic talks. We have no idea what they are going to contain, but hopefully these guys can figure something out and possibly not go, against anything or probably not go to war. But yeah. Okay. The Russian woman was in fact arrested in Ukraine for helping the Russians to target not only civilian buildings but hospitals. She actually helped them target a hospital. Just want to point that out. A real-time hospital. It was kind of a desperate attack. No, thank you very much, Deception. Oh, you're actually... Oh, yeah. There we go. Deception, that's one. Welcome in. Thank you for the like. Yeah, guys, if you have not liked, please do. It would be very much appreciated. I don't ask for it, but it's, you gotta read between the lines. Ugh. Tanks by train to somewhere by Taiwan. No, I didn't. What did you hear that from, Deception? Did not hear about that. Pretty sure, they do it all the time. But sure. One second. All right. Fair enough. On Rogan? What's his name? You talk about the Rogan or which one? Oh yeah, Rogan, the guy, right? The guy with the podcast. Oh yeah. Yeah. Rogan does some good interviews. I mean, he really gets through to people. You can't hate Rogan, can you? He's just a nice guy. And people are like, find a way to hate Rogan, but you can't because he's a nice guy. Okay, does great. Oh yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah, I forgot his first name. My bad. I know who Joe Rogan is. He's a handsome lad. He's a handsome lad. I mean, he's also in incredible shape for his age. He's a little special. I mean, he's a little special. I don't going to condone the things, and sometimes I'm not much of a condoner of the you know, public drug use and stuff that he does. But yeah, you know, it's preferences, probably. You know, it's what it is. Probably, I think it's going to be a while before he'd invite me on his show. I think he's got other important people to talk to one day. Don't know who, right? Oh, would you look at that? So, look at this one right here. This is a farmer in Ukraine. A great show. What do you think so? It's just me trying to put. Does he say that China is not the aggressor, or is that what you're saying? Is it like because I contradict what he's saying, or are we agreeing on stuff? Or do you just think it's gonna be like a great show because it'll be a great show? I actually don't watch Joe Rogan that much. I've watched like some interviews. I watched him interview Elon Musk. That was an interesting one. So check this out right here. This is a Ukrainian farmer cooking up a device. You'd watch Neil on a Trump show? Oh, Neil is great. Oh, great show on YouTube. Well, maybe one day. So dig this out. This is a Ukrainian farmer that's made a demining equipment here from his own probably material there. We got a smart guy here. Right, this thing right here is meant to smash into the ground, smashing up the mines. The only problem is that he's put the swinger way too close to the machine, but that's, you know, it's probably gonna work. But I just feel like in the case of, you know, when it's quite, if it was a smaller mine, but a bigger mine, you know, that close to where you got it, it's not gonna do too much. New York Prepper and Canadian Drive talked about China and China. Oh, don't fucking get me started on New York Prepper and Canadian Prepper. They're full of fucking shit. Okay. There's people. I'm not somebody who want to get into some kind of beef, but New York Prepper and fucking Canadian Prepper is full of shit, and I don't care what everybody says. And people, you know, people started to point out that New York Prepper got his sources from Lee. I doubt the fact that New York Prepper was getting his sources from Lee, because Lee, you know, he wasn't reporting on the fact that there was going to be a nuclear strike. You know, I know Lee good enough to know that Lee would never report on the fact that there was going to be a nuclear strike. You know, you're okay, Desire. You know, it doesn't matter. It's alright. It's alright. You know, I just I don't really like those guys. They don't you know, they're the only reason why they're doing it is because they can you know, sell you a story so you want to buy their stuff. That's the only reason why he does it. You know. Both of them, actually. Both called Prepper. They both sell stuff. Actually, I went into Lee's stream on Rumble. This is not anything against Lee, but I want to point out that I went into a stream because I shared the, I tagged him in the tweet I made about the Doomsday plane. He liked and retweeted it. He talked about it on the fucking stream, I think. I don't know. I think he talked about it. Not sure, though. I feel like it would be pretty pressing news. I don't know. But, yeah, I came in and I you know, asked if he was gonna talk about it, and you know, because I was wanting to know if he was gonna talk about it, what he knows about it. And I'm not stupid. I know that Lee knows much more about, you know, these things than I do, and I'm not gonna, you know, discourage that. But you know, as soon as I started talking to him, you know, I said, "Hey, what's up?" And you know, I said that there was a doomsday plane. You know, of course they wanted the source, and then I said, "Oh, yeah, well, it was on Flight Trader." And then they said, "Don't you have your own channel? You know, can't you just go over to your own channel? You know, can't you just go to your own channel? What are you doing here? These were the mods, right?" And then some guy also said that I was mentally challenged and that I was technically retarded. You know, that was his response. And then I simply said that I think by the way, I know how old he was. He was 35. I think a 35-year-old sitting on his ass all day, talking in chat, calling people mentally retarded and technically retarded. You know, maybe, you know, that's a bit childish. You know, and then they said I was barking out orders, and then they banned me. And then I came back the next day, and guess who told them not to ban me? Right? Lee told them not to ban me. So, don't get you wrong, but you don't fuck around, you know? Fuck around, you're gonna find out. Yes. Yes. All I wanted to know was about the Doomsday Plane. I literally said, I'm here to learn about the Doomsday Plane, nothing else. And then they started to attack me, you know. And then Lee showed a video of these of like people on the street in Germany, and then I jokingly said that's the German way, you know, because they were kicking them, you know. You know, and then they were kicking him off the street, and I said that's the German way, right? And then some guy, a mod, actually said, "I show you some other way," you know. And then are you threatening me? And then they said, "Oh, that's a stupid thing to say. Oh, nobody was threatening you." You know, so I think that guy was threatening me. No, I was just saying I'm gonna show you a way with my fist. What? What? What do you? What? What? I mean, just, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, it's just weird. But it's funny. I had a good time. I had a good laugh just reading about the messages. Yeah, but only for. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. New York Pepper, he does some good prepping videos. You know, just his live streams are often wrong. Oh yeah, but it's fine. You know, we don't pop around any goof around here. And at the start of the when I was streaming there, people were, you know, also putting in the chat. And at the start I allowed it, but people were you know, putting in the chat, you know, like, oh, this guy's streaming now, and you know, I had to actually get myself to say, because at the start I wasn't like, oh, should I say it? And then I thought about it. No, actually, I should say to people, maybe not put, you know, other people's channel in my channel that is live streaming. And I, you know, multiple times I was like, oh, Lee's live. So, you know, I promoted Lee quite a lot there, but other people's channels and all that stuff, right? You know, people were putting other people's channel in my chat. That's it. There was also a mod I had before. I'm not gonna mention his name, but you guys might know him. He got mad at me, and I just, you know, don't know why he got mad at me. You know, he kept saying that he thought that all the Russian people should burn in hell, and you know, and everything was wrong with them. And I just said to him, you know, I think you should backtrack it with the whole burning in hell thing. And he banned me, and he constantly came into my channel and said like, oh, I'm probably gonna go live soon. I was like, could you not, you know? I just hate, you know, casual, easy going here. Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm not, I'm not mad at people. I don't get mad at people, only unless, they're, well, holding a grudge against people, it's a waste of your time. I'll tell you one thing at the life and lessons here, holding a grudge against people, it's okay to be mad against people, but holding a grudge the rest of your life against people because they said something and you said something, heated moments often bring along heated situations, sometimes people say stuff and sometimes it's just out of heated moment and you're like, oh, this happened and let's just move on. And you're like, oh yeah, heated moments, you miss something, You know who you're talking about? All right, fair enough. Trying to get in my Twitter to work or X. If Elon would fix it. Yeah. As of September 8th, the Russian terrorists, state is keeping 9 warships on combat duty in the Black Sea. Among them is a missile carrier with 8 caliber missiles. These ships are saved from destruction by the timely interventions of Elon Musk. Yeah. Should be abolished. Oh yeah. Time to ban this asshole. This is actually a gay comeback. This is actually a gay comeback right here. Raise your hands if you think Russia should be abolished. And Rave Lacaris, he said, raise your hands if you think NATO should be abolished. And then put a NATO with a cross. And this guy was like, raise your hands if you think Russia should be abolished. And he got, what he got? 5,000 likes. What does this guy get? Less likes. He got less likes. Ha! We won. I'm going to like that. I'm going to retweet that. And I'm going to say, okay, I was not going to say that. I think sometimes X is weird because it hides your old sort of things that you tweeted. I was going to tweet. What should I say? Perhaps. Our British people, Perhaps you can get. We got talked about. You guys realized, I mean, what's her name? Camilla, vice president. Like how she talks. I've talked about this before. Like how Camilla talks. So we're gonna walk over here. It was such a great time, and yeah. And the reason why she does it because she sounds drunk 24/7. I don't know if she's drunk 24/7, but I'll be honest with you, she sounds pretty drunk. I'm just pointing out that she sounds drunk 24/7. And how does Camilla? By what do I want to point out one thing? She once stated to the whole of the American people that the United States and North Korea had a long-standing alliance. And that wasn't even that long ago. It was weeks ago, maybe less than a month ago. She stated to the whole of the United States public that the U.S. had a long-standing alliance with North Korea. Yeah, North Korea, yeah. It was like, oh, I switched around South and North. Really? You switch around South and North? You really? God, I mean, if that's your vice president, I wish Biden a long life. If that's your vice president, I wish Biden a long fucking life. I just want to point out, if you guys are thinking right now that it's because, oh, she's a woman, she's a, no, it's not because of that. I'm not like that, okay? I'm not like that. I don't think like that. My thoughts about it is who's capable to lead a country when she's clearly either drunk or incapable of putting together sentences. You got to be able to put together a sentence to even be able to be a president. I feel like that should be a minimum requirement, Like my egg donor. Like your egg donor? She talks snotty like my egg donor? A little bit better than everyone else. I don't. Your egg donor. Are you talking about rat egg? No, rats doesn't have eggs. What do you mean by... What? What? Rats? No. Egg donor? What's an egg donor? Is that another American thing? Guys, I'm still learning American. I am still learning the ins and outs of being an American, or not being an American, but learning American. I want to get the ins and outs here, what it means to be an American. Because if I'm looking for the outside, being American, you know, it's pretty awesome. You know, despite some things, but you know. Why doesn't America have free healthcare? I want to point this out. I just want to ask, out of curiosity, why does America not have free healthcare? I don't get it. You know, I just don't get why America did never say yes to that. I don't. You know, I feel like it was one of the things that maybe should have been implemented. But to be honest, right, in the 1950s, you know, during the time of when the man worked, you know, during the time of where it was seen too fraudulently to have a woman work in the workplace, you know, obviously that was a mistake on their side. They didn't know any better. You know, it's a long time ago. But I want to point out the factor here that when they were working back then, right, you could actually afford. It took about egg donor. My mother? Your mother is an egg donor? I still don't get it. What? So what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. I mean, in 1950s, a man go to work, he had one work, right? He didn't have two works, he didn't have three works. He had one. He could afford a big ass house, a larger family, right? And sometimes even the factor of having two cars. And I just want to point out that, you know, back then, it would actually be, you know, if the economy was still like that and you could work and you could live off one person having one job, you know, if that was the economy now, imagine now when there's two of the parents, you know, mom and dad that has works. You know, imagine what the economy, you know, imagine what people's life would be like. And I think that the implications is that we have people in the government who remember these times. Oh, you know what we don't? Yeah. But I remember these times. That I think a lot of people in the government right now still remember these times, and I think that they may be so out of touch that they don't know that America is not in this time anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. You know, nowadays people are working two jobs, barely getting by, and that's not a joke. You may think, is that no? That's not a joke. People are barely working two jobs nowadays and getting by. You know? I mean, I don't want to turn things all political here, but I just want to say that they need to seriously take a look at their fucking options. You know, they need to update their economy. Because I think they need to just rewrap it all. You know? Throw it all away and make a new one. Because that's what they need to do. I think. I don't know. I don't think they realize sometimes, you know, that they're not in the 1950s, or that they are simply not in a time anymore. You know, it's one thing to have enough money to do something. I feel it's funny because, you know, it's one thing to have enough money, you know, to out money China. But it's another thing to have less money than China, but have more, you know. Sorry. You oh, you don't. Okay. Well, I'm sure I would have heard about it. Deception. Either way, deception. It's a thing. I mean, we know it's happening. We know they're doing it. I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, it's one of those things where people are like, are you a conspiracy thing? No, I wouldn't even think it's a conspiracy theory deception because, at this point, it wouldn't even be surprised if China was moving tanks, through its provinces and moving to the coast of fucking China. Sorry, Taiwan, and calling it an exercise. At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised. So no, despite if it's true or false, it's happened before. Okay, and doing this year alone, I think they've driven more than 1,000 pieces of equipment through and near that near that border. So, well, border, cross country border there. Yeah, I wake up sometimes, and the first thing I'm done nowadays is actually check through what which you sent me, and that's usually my morning routine at this point. You don't turn it around because I wake up and I check my phone instantly. I just go to Twitter and I just see oh, that one, what's happening, and it's usually Witchy going, oh my god, what is going on here? Is this something to freak out about? Is this something? And I wake up and I know my brain is pretty much out of fucking function, and I just have to explain, no, it is not something to freak out about. It is just this. It is just this. I mean, it's I do enjoy it. I get the news from it. I think it's great. It's fine. But it's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. Am I getting short-term headaches from it? Yeah, but, we'll live with it. No. You hate your mom. Okay, well, fair enough. Well, no, I mean, listen, China, we just saw a video 20 minutes ago about Chinese vessels doing it. Yeah, I mean, that's true deception, right? I mean, that country has turned a drastic downturn there. Now, I don't know if it's, I think mostly what happened there was because of this COVID thing here, and I think I think America is still very much recovering from this COVID, from the COVID pandemic. You do. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, uh, uh, yeah. Okay. Fine. Check this out. You got want to see something funny? Oh my god, I got the hat on. Look at this. Oh my god, clap at me. Yes, I was able to take a hat on. Yes. Look at me. I was able to take a hat on. Yes. Clap at me. Yes. Well, Deception, when you do, my Twitter's in the description, just so you know. Oh my god, look guys, I can sing. Guys, okay, do you see him singing? Do you see him singing? Look, I put hat on. Look. He's such a goof. That was when they uncleared their first nuclear submarine there. Just want to point that out. Back of the statue. Do you think a depression is coming? It's my opinion. Well, I think we're far from a depression deception. I think people when the depression happened during the 1930s, right there, during the big crash. It comes on unexpected things, but people always say it comes on unexpected, but no, it really didn't. I mean, during the big shortage, in 2008, when the house mortgages, there were people, and you should see the movie called The Big Short. There were people, who were predicting these falls. When the market crashes, the market crashes. That's the things you got to look out for. There's always some sort of things. The issues at hand right now is that there isn't necessarily a depression because the house markets are actually higher in value. The depression really comes at the people, because I think the people are the ones who are in the depression when you think about it, because people are not able to afford the house prices that are given before them. When you can't afford a house pricing, what happens then, right? You have to move out on the streets. What happens if you move out on the streets? Then you don't, if you don't have a job, and if you have a job and you can't afford your houses, sometimes people choose to move out. And what happens when people don't start paying rent, Patrick? Well, then people, then houses markets, they start to take a dip. So what happens millions of people in New York are starting to not being able to pay their rent, having to move out of New York so they can, move into areas that are longer away, right? Well, then people, won't be able to pay the rent for the big houses. And sometimes in the near future, you realize that nobody's going to be able to move into the apartments that are, presented in New York. What happens then, Patrick? Well, then people, those houses are going to have to go bankrupt or be bought up by somebody else. But if nobody wants to buy them, then it's unlikely that if nobody wants to rent the houses, nobody's going to buy them. So that house is going to be abandoned, right? Because why would you buy something that has no value? Well, then you look towards the rich and you say, well, can't the rich just buy up these houses and live in them? But there's only 1% of the rich, so there's not going to be so many people that are able to afford to afford the houses. So what happens? Bang, right? Now these houses are getting emptied out. Nobody's able to live there anymore. House prices, no matter what, are going to take a dip. They're going to have to take a dip. But if they can't afford to take a dip, then they're going to start to lose their value. And that's when things go really bad. So you might think that sometimes when house values are getting too high, you think, oh, well, then we're having a great time. No, we're not. Because if people can't afford the housings, what happens then? People start moving out. People start moving to other places. Then cities that used to be great are now going to be less great. They're going to have less money, So then house price is going to have to take a dip no matter what. But in all honesty, if all these things are correlating with each other, nobody's going to be able to pay their houses. We may see a surge in homeless people. I don't know if there's going to be a depression, but there's certainly going to be a recession once or more, right? There could be a recession, and we could be heading for one. Although I will say that the markets are at the moment looking pretty stable. But I can't really tell you about that. House prices in the UK is also, well, we have Twitter's like 4. I just started using it. Rocket Man law. I didn't know. See that. Or do you guys have anything like that? Yeah, I mean, the next 18 months are looking bad. Yeah. But it's true, and it's happening in Denmark as well. It's happening all over. People are not looking into it. It's happening. You look at Denmark, right? Denmark, in these big cities where I live right now, right? The houses, I can't afford that. I can't afford that, right? I can't afford to live in an apartment. There's, by the way, a lot of air raids. But I'll get to the air raids, okay? This is not about Ukraine right now, guys. Where I can't afford the apartments in the big cities anymore. And why can't? Well, what happens when a bunch of young people can't afford the houses inside of the big cities anymore? They're gonna have to move out to the outside. But then, then people don't pay rent inside the big cities. Then we're gonna start to lose money, right? And these apartments, they're gonna have to either, put down prices. But if you don't make profit because the people are charging too much, and the prices are going up so fucking much that if you can't pay off your rents, the people who own the fucking houses have to pay off the fucking rents as well. If they can't do that, these houses, they're just going to be abandoned and bankrupt, right? Such things happen. Apartments go bankrupt, right? And if that happens, I think a perfect example of what's happening, in these areas here. Look at Detroit. Y'all know the story of Detroit, right? Detroit was one of the most successful cities during the 1950s and 60s. It was so successful, it was rich, it was powerful, there was cars everywhere, it was just bustling, Take a look at pictures of Detroit today. You tell me that Detroit is a good looking town, because it's not. Every building there is pretty much abandoned. Detroit looks like a fucking ghost town. They're going through such a bad time. Now, what happened doing then was, that wasn't even doing the fucking Great Depression either, was it? They just started to lose money. The things were getting too good. Things were getting a bit too good, wasn't it? What happened in Detroit was, hey, these factories right here, guys, look at these factories right here. Yeah, can we use them? No, they're too old. Okay, well, can we upgrade them? No, we don't have the money for it. Well, actually, we do have the money for it, but we want to spend it on something else. Why? Then we have stupid politicians that want to spend the money on something else. So we can't update these factories, no. So the workers can't live there. We can't use these factories anymore. They're not going to make any money. No, correct. Yeah. So what are the workers going to do? Well, they're going to start, losing money. So can they live in the city anymore? No. Either they're going to go homeless or they're going to move out of the city to find work somewhere else. Okay, well, let's wait and see. 1 year later, what happens then, right? Where's everybody gone? You go ask the politician, hey, we just lost about 1 million people from the city, Where are they now? They're not fucking here anymore. Why they're not here anymore? Because I told you last year that the factories are not useful anymore. We can't use them. They're outdated. Nobody wants to work there anymore. The factories are shutting down. They can't afford it. They can't afford to keep it running because it's not profiting anymore. People are losing their jobs. People are losing homes. They're moving out of the city. And when people move out of the city, they're not paying taxes. They're not paying rent. Our city is going down. So what do we do now? Well, sir, it's too late. We can start upgrading some of these factories, but we have so many factories that are getting so outdated that we're not going to be able to upgrade them in time. So what's going to happen to our city? Well, if this decline happens, everybody's going to move out of cities to find work somewhere else. Okay, well, we have to do something fast then. Well, yeah, okay, we can start maybe upgrading some of these cities. Okay, well then let's pick this one right here. But sir, that's the least profitable one. Well, just get it done, right? Okay, well then we're gonna get it done. Okay, 1 year later, we spent pretty much all of our budget this year, but we finally got it done. Did it help? No, it didn't help, sir. I told you, it was the least profitable one. Okay, well, what now? Well, we know we have no money, right? We spent all of budget. All right, we're gonna have to go over budget. Going over budget, that's a bad idea, sir. But we're still gonna have to do it. All right. And that was the rapid decline of all these things right happening. They were declining and declining, and they couldn't keep up. So what are you saying? Yeah, $3 a gallon. Yeah. 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 Housing prices. But you know why the prices are going up, Deception? Because they can't afford it. Because now they're hit by you know, the inflation. They're hit by all these money right here. They're not a big ass corporation like Walmart is, and they don't have upside. They don't have investments and all that stuff. You know. Yeah, but the only problem is deception. If they start lowering their prices, they're not going to be able to afford it anymore because they're not a big ass brand like Walmart. So they can't really lower the prices. You know what happens when people can't lower their prices and people don't buy with them anymore? You know, they just go, eventually people go bankrupt because if you're not, you know, changing something about yourself or changing something, you know, if I have something that everybody wants to buy, right? Everybody wants to buy this. Everybody wants milk, but I sell it at a much higher price because I'm not a big company. I don't have the means to produce this, you know, in a cheap manner. Okay, so I don't have the means to produce this cheap, so I have to sell it at a higher price to make profit. Well, no one wants to buy this because they could buy it at a company that sells it cheaper. Okay, what do I have to do? Well, then I have to make it cheaper. All right, I'll make it cheaper. Well, I can't do that because I don't have any means to make it cheaper. I haven't made any money to start with. All right, well then, let's see. You know, what can I really do? What's your options then? You know, you don't have any options. You set it down $1 maybe. Still make some profit. No, but it's still not going to be enough. You may get some sales of people who don't know they can go down the street, but eventually people are going to learn you can just go down the street, you know? I mean, you know, this world, you know, it's you know, everything is getting too expensive. Everything is getting too expensive because the coins and the values, you know, the American dollar does not represent what it once did because it does not have the same value as it once did, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. 'Cause I'm not an economic expert, but you know, you don't have to be an economic expert to maybe realize that I don't think we're heading into a recession. I used to think we were, but I don't think we're heading into a recession. I think if we don't get a lot smarter, a lot quicker, you know, our prices are going to continue to go up and the housing markets are going to continue to go up, you know. Yeah, and that's the problem. You know, during World War II, inflation was way up. Way up. You know, and you take a look at the markets through 1940 and 1945, you know, housing, you know, prices was way up, right? But America was able to pull through it doing, you know, because prior to 1940, the American dollar had so much value. It started to lose its value because of the inflation, but it wasn't. The funny thing is right now, guys, that where the American dollar was in 1943 during the peak of the, you know, during the 1940s to 50, 1943 or 1944, when during the peak of the, you know, U.S. Inflation value of the dollar, right? It doesn't even come close to how little the dollar represents today compared to how little it represents back then, because it still was enough to represent. Plus, people was put into work and the government ran in a certain way, right? You know. I mean, listen, if you're gonna have to fight a war in China and Taiwan, printing money, inflation is going to go way up. There's no way to avoid it. You know, doing wartime, there's no way to avoid having less money, and inflation will go up. You know, I've seen news headlines, and don't fucking believe a shit what that comes out of there. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but when a bank starts telling you that the currency of your country is it's doing great, guys, it's doing great, you know, don't believe shit. Because I'll tell you what, I was told on the evening of the 6th of September that the Danish coin had hit a new peak of value. Look at this right here. You call this a new peak of value, and the 6th, it was here, right? And this is not the new peak of value. Where's it at today? It's at the 9th. It's at the lowest it's been throughout pretty much this whole fucking year. I mean, I just want to point it out, right? Now look at that, for example. We just got a reset right there. Look at that. But look at that right there. It's just like got a fucking straight line right there. But we just gotta kick back right here. Look at that. We kick back, you know? You know, but it happens, you know, the markets dip, and that's when we dip. You know, look at that. 2019, 2000, you know, look at that, you know. But look at this was in 2019, by the way. This is the last time that the markets dipped so much. You know, when you look back to 2009, oh my god, the Danish coin. Oh my god, right? That's the record right there. No, it was, but this is 5 days ago, 1 day ago, right there. We hit a peak, but we went straight down again. Look at that. We went up. All right, we went up. Yeah, but no, we're back down again. We're back down again. It didn't prepare for it. It didn't prepare for it. You guys seen the movie The Big Short, right? I mean, if you haven't, the big banks, the banks that wasn't supposed to fail, told us that the housing markets and the housing markets was brilliant. There weren't going to be any. They were perfect. There were some people in the background. There was a guy who I don't remember his name. I'm bad with names. But he raised his hands and he said, "It's at 0%, guys." And the big banks, you know, those guys you're supposed to believe when they tell you, you know, the American dollar is doing great. Those guys told him that no, that was a lie. You know, it's not at 0, it's at 5. But it was a lie. Because it wasn't at 5. It was in fact in 0. And this big short happened all of a sudden. 13,000 fucking jobs. 13,000. No, 40,000. I think it's close to maybe 6. I don't know. Wait 1 second. Mark Baum. He predicted it, right? That's a second. All right. Michael Burry. No, Michael Burry was the guy who previously predicted it. Mark Baum was also one of the guys. Michael Burry, yeah, it's true, he was. Mark Baum. Michael Burry was also one of the guys that predicted it. He was actually the original one, but it was a guy called Mark Baum who predicted it. So yeah, I don't know. It was up in the thousands of jobs was lost during that time. It didn't prepare for it, you know. Well, you know, I mean, America's already, you know, we know that the American dollar. It'll turn on in 3 months. Yeah. It's yeah. It's not a joke, you know. I didn't search this up, right? Let me tell you something. I told you right before, didn't I? I explained what was happening right now, right? And yes, I said it, you know. Listen, I said this a year ago we were heading for a recession. And not now, I didn't think so because I thought that maybe the markets were doing a bit better because maybe we're doing some kind of war economy kind of shit, right? But no, we're not. So check this out here. The U.S. is likely headed for recession in end 2023 or early 2024. J.P. Morgan said. Jonathan Lang of J.P. Morgan Assets Managed says tightening credit conditions will probably be the primary driving force. According to J.P. Morgan, you guys are heading for a fucking recession. The month after, the Brits polls of economics over the past year showed the risk of recession 1 year out rising 25% in April 2022. The month after the first rate hike of Fed current, holy shit, tightening circled to 65%. The most recent we had it at 55% chance for a recession. It's 52% right now. It's gone down, but you know, I mean, I just want to point out here, guys, that not only is America right now spending millions of dollars, billions actually, restoring houses during these storms right now that has been ravaging through the countryside, you know, especially Florida as well has been under economic pressure right now because of these, you know, rapid storms heading out from there. But I will point out here that do we think that you know the recession is happening because of the market prices or simply because of the inflation? Yeah, no, the market prices, you know, probably are you know, yeah. You need to be real fucking sure who you elect in 2024, but it might even be fucking too late, guys. You know, they're not telling you, and they're gonna cover it up. You know, why are they covering it up? Are you not a conspiracy theorist? No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just know how the world fucking works. Okay, I know how the government works. I know how people do. They don't tell you that we're heading for a recession, because why would they? Because if they tell you that we're heading for a recession, what's gonna happen then? People are gonna fucking panic. They don't want people to panic. They want to figure it out. But if they can't figure it out, and they are in fact heading for recession, you know, I urge you to go ask the banks right now where you're. I urge you to go ask your bank right now if your mortgage prices or rents or any kind of taxes are heading for is going to be turning down anytime soon. You know. I warn you, I will actually, if I were you, gonna go ask your banks, you know. Did Rand post it on YouTube? Yeah, but yeah. You know. What to do. What to do. If I were you, if you don't want to procedurally crash during this recession, if it does come, I would invest in Lockheed Martin or any of the armed companies right now. I'd certainly invest in some of the arms companies right now if that's what you got. I keep my money very close net. Wouldn't rent it out, and I certainly, you know. For people who have private businesses right now, I would want you to reevaluate just how important your business is for survival. Because if you got business that's important for survival, no matter what, you're gonna head for the factor. But prices are not gonna be fucking easy. They're gonna go way up. You know, it's not funny. It's not funny. But you know, it's fucked. Yeah, you know. We've seen it coming for a while. Oh, multiple areas here in Ukraine turning on right now. Kyiv region appears to have been attacked. Welcome to China. No, If bunch of silver, but yeah, I'd certainly think about your values right now. You need to make sure that what you have, is important. It's all about skills. Because remember, if you're a art student, they're not gonna come to you first for the job. If you're a carpenter, if you're what's going on there? If you're a electrician, if you're anybody who's essential to the survival, I don't think you're gonna be guaranteed, but you're gonna be guaranteed. Silver and gold, yeah. You wanna make sure that you head for it. Yeah. God, I wish I could talk to Joe Biden right now. Just tell him, hey, buddy, you gotta fix this shit. Buddy, you know what I'd do? I'd fire the whole fucking Congress right now. I'd fire the Supreme Court. I'd fire everybody. I'd pick some new people. And I'd tell you what, I'd pick some new people, and I'd get a bunch of people from Howard. I'd get a bunch of economic people. Just a bunch of people. I'd get a bunch of people from Wall Street. I'll get a bunch of people from fucking everywhere. Dude, from fucking everywhere. Everyone around it, doesn't fucking matter. Just anybody, who knows anything about economics. Get them into a fucking room, get them to agree on something, and come up with a million fucking options on how you can make everything better, and then you can fix it all up. You gotta be strategic about these fucking things right now. It is important that you do. Yeah, I mean, they certainly seem to think that he's corrupt. I mean, there was a lot of talks back in the days to the fact that he wasn't corrupt, that he was corrupt. But you guys gotta remember that this shit tracks back to the Trump era as well. This isn't a one-time Biden thing right now. This is a track back to Trump era too. I want to point out that during the time of Obama, despite how many people hated him, I'd say there was more money in the fucking back during the time of Obama than there was during the time of Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Because think about how much turmoil America and has been under doing both Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I just want to point out here, drill baby drill. Yeah. It goes way back further than Trump. It is true. I'd remind you that I think what you need right now is, I hate the fact that people nowadays are talking about war. I hate war. I don't get talking about war. I don't get, I don't get war. I don't like war. I like peace. I like not throwing lives at a fucking endless goal of conquering, or winning a war. What's the point of it all? Because there's always going to be another fucking enemy, right? I'd like to see people live a long, full life, but I just wish that sometimes, these presidents or these people would be people that, would consider what they're doing before they do it. Yeah. People lost. No. I mean, yeah. Say, I know. Oh, hello. There we go. Explosion. So I know, that's true. That's true deception. That's true. What about Reagan? I mean, how far back do we track this shit? Because I feel like Reagan, right? He was corrupt. Was he corrupt? He was kind of corrupt, right? But wasn't he? He was pretty good when it came to the economic side, or was he? I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, Reagan. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's I wish there would be just one leader, just one person who would, you know, just be the man of the man or the woman, right? In Ukraine, no talk of bombers yet. We've heard bombers there. There's explosion in Kyiv. Maybe I should get back to the news here. I feel like I'm talking a bit too much about the economic situations here. There's just not a lot of more else going on here. I've pretty much pressed through. God damn it! I pretty much pressed through what there actually was pressed through. I'll get the Flash up here. He's probably reporting on this by now. The president of Romania informed Stoltenberg about a new wreckage of Russian drone. Romanian President Klaus Iohannis had a telephone conversation with NATO Secretary Jens Stoltenberg to whom he told about new debris from Russian. Iohannis strongly condemned the violence of Romania's sovereign airspace, which poses What the fuck? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? That wasn't fucking wind. What the fuck was that? No, it was from the ground. It can't hear a plane. Was it a jet? Was it a jet? No, I mean, I don't think there was some Kyiv, right? They're not gonna let jets fly over Kyiv. Can't be from a jet. It's way too loud to be from a jet. I mean, unless that jet flew right past the fucking microphone. I mean, I'm looking at Kyiv right here. I don't know. Did we see someone get Kyiv cam right there? There's a car. Oh, hello. Look at that. Is there a light over there? Look at that. Check that out. Boom. Big light there. Oh, look how the whole fucking sky got lit up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. An explosion right there. Is that from over here? What's over here? Sounded fucking scary. That's what it was. That's what it sounded like. The fuck just happened right there? That's huge. Look at the fucking sky in Kyiv right there as well. Where's the Kyiv cam on this one? He doesn't have a Kyiv cam, does he? No, he doesn't have a Kyiv cam. What's the explosion? Oh my god. Yeah, so listen, that was 1:27 minutes ago. Let's go back here on this one because we got the Kyiv cam here. Listen to it. Listen to it. Listen. You sound like maybe a little bit like a uranium stockpiles, my guess. Russian then. Holy goddamn shit right there. I hope you brought your pee-pee pants, because it's about to get fucking crazy. See it from fucking there? Could you see it from the fucking distance or something like that? Oh, look at that. Is it there? Can't even fucking find the moment it happened. Oh, look at that. Look at how the... Oh, look at that. Boom, right there, I think. Yeah, look at that. Look at that right there. Whole sky lit up right there. Boom, there, right there. What's that? 4 minutes ago? Sounds pretty good. So look at Keith camera right there. Anybody else that's called Keith up there? Nope. We got one Keith. Yeah, so 2 of those actually. Look at that. Multiple times that sky. Oh shit, I'm turning up the sound. And that was fucking crazy. What the fuck was that? That came from fucking Kiev as well. That was huge. Oh my god. Shaded drones. They're talking about some shaded drones here. Now, it's important to point out that if this 1 minute ago, breaking multiple explosions, rock Kiev, stay safe and stay informed. They're talking about here. Now, there's one thing to point out here that you know, if that explosions was right next to the camera, was right next to maybe the microphone that captured the camera. Next to the camera microphone that catches the sound. You know, was it the air defense? I mean, it also maybe sound a little bit like a jet there, maybe like a MiG flying past, intercepting stuff. That could have been something there, maybe. But I just feel like, you know, this thing is bound to be on the ground, so I just don't know how a jet would be so close to the ground. You know, I get it, but you know. Oh, I think I got the video here. We got one uploaded 4 minutes ago. Let's hit this is the sound here because it kind of sounds a little bit Spidey here. The cruise missile. Yeah, maybe. But I got a video here. Check this out. So she's recording here. It sounded a little similar, didn't it? Yeah, listen to that one. This is the second one as well. Oh, shit. Is that white fucking phosphor right there? No, okay, that's... I thought... Oh, shit, I thought that was white phosphor for a second there. I thought Russia just dropped fucking white phosphor in Kiev. I was a little scared right there. I thought they did. I honestly just thought they did that, but they didn't apparently not. Holy shit, boys. Holy shit. They may have been shot down by air defense going up there. It kind of sounded like... Don't know if the ground there or what. Yeah, that was fucking insane. Yeah. That sounded American to me. Big, bold.
Благословение. Пожалуйста. От меня что нужно?
Russian nuclear scientist asked Putin for a blessing. Sound like a sentence is a really funny joke, but it's not. Russian nuclear scientist did really ask Putin for a blessing. He obliged. Look at this shit right here. How long ago is this? What do you need from me? A blessing. Nuclear scientist, what do you need from me? A blessing. Give you a blessing right there. Here you go. Alright. Thanks. Thanks, Dad. Thanks. I found myself instantly praying for people and their babies. Yeah. I hope everyone's ready. What about it go down? Well, what are you talking about there, Spidey? Now, you know I don't like to talk about all that nuclear stuff, guys. That's what you're thinking about. My mind did not go to nuclear. Okay, you know, I don't like talking about it because it's very unlikely that that's what's happening. Flash probably going to upload about this just in a second here. Shh, shh, shh. Listen, listen. Listen, listen. Listen, listen, listen. That's a drone. Listen, listen. You hear the background there? Listen to it, listen. Yeah, that sounds like a drone back there. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm hearing drones in the background there. Listen, listen. It remind me of those kamikaze drones right there. Oh yeah, is that American? It's big and bold. A boom! It sounded fucking American right there. No, but it wasn't. It wasn't American. It hit Kyiv, so no, it wasn't American. Just want to point that out. If anybody thinks I'm sitting here saying that as American, it's not. It wasn't American. It was Russian. So I want to point that out. Was she asking the wrong person? It's a devil blessing. And ask the devil for blessing. That's kind of like asking Jesus if he wants to. I don't know. Don't know. Orange missiles about to be given to Ukraine. China's moving tanks to close port to China. The Taiwan war between Iran and Turkey about to kick off over Armenia. Well, we don't know all that. By the way, Armenia and Azerbaijan has just announced that they were going to be having diplomatic talks together over the next 24 hours. Plus, the whole Taiwan and China moving up things, you got to remember that China, China is like Russia. They like pasturing up, and I get the fact that, people think that, yes, China could be launching this attack against Taiwan, and it's it's inevitable that they're going to launch that attack one day, and I'm not disagreeing that there's a likely chance here, as there's been increased surveillance and there's been increased incursions into territory of Taiwan, but it certainly seems like a bit far-fetched to me, because China is not ready for a war, and it certainly is not going to be ready for a war before 2027. I don't think so, at least. But it's also said that China is not going to be able to match U.S. naval capabilities before 2040. Science everywhere. I mean, I'm not giving the wrong here. Iran has just talked to Azerbaijan earlier today, giving it security guarantees, and Turkey has said that it does not want Iran to interfere with Azerbaijan affairs. I think commenting up on Armenia, and Armenia is also kind of friends with the U.S. I don't think the U.S. has any security guarantees, but they're going to hold drills in Armenia. So, yeah, I see what you're saying there. I just want to throw down all the things here. You got your whole family listening to me, would you? You got the whole family listening to me. We got the staunch supporters. I hope I'm right. I'm always right, Spidey. I am rarely fucking wrong. No, but listen, I haven't said that there isn't going to be a war between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Certainly right now it seems very likely, although I will say yes, I am an optimistic kind of person, and I will say that there has just been announced, talks between the two countries. So yeah, I'd say that I'm trying to remain as optimistic as possible. And in these situations, you always have to remain optimistic. Having a superior complex about all these things, saying like, well, it's gonna end and all that stuff, it's important to remember to be optimistic about things. I know it's hard sometimes to be, but for not only for your children's sake, but for your for the people who hang around you, for your friends, for everybody. You might know something that they don't, and you know things, and you're like, oh, I know this is gonna happen, and of course, that's sometimes but sometimes things are about to happen, but you also got to remember how that affects children. You got to remember how it affects your, that powerful. All right, fair enough. No, but you got to remember just to when you're talking, not only when you're talking to your children, or you're talking to people who not necessarily understand the situation, people who panic easily, people who are having trouble, Well, this is over 18, Spidey. Well, I'd say so. I mean, there's a lot of videos that we certainly have shown that are over 18, but I try to keep it as much, easy and able to understand. Because if I was sitting here saying that it was inevitable, China was going to go to war, Azerbaijan and Armenia was going to go to war, Russia and China, Russia is going to go to war with NATO, I was freaking out plenty of times. Yeah. But, you have to stay calm. You're gonna do sometimes. You gotta just breathe. You gotta breathe. That's the most important thing in life. Breathe. When you get to sometimes in your life, you're gonna have to make decisions, and if you don't breathe before making those decisions, you're not gonna make a good decision. Get some wisdom here from me, because I am very wise. I am so wise. I am. Kyiv Mayor Klitschko warns more shaded drones on their way to the capital. We're gonna have to keep an eye here. There are reports of more. Oh, look at that. This is from Vicegrad. Air defense shut down Russian suicide drone kamikaze. It's not a fucking suicide drone. It's a kamikaze. All right. All right. Well, I guess it's the same. I just feel like saying kamikaze is a better way. I know it means suicide. I just don't want to say. You get it. Yeah, but check this out. I actually think this is what we heard. Cause listen to it. Listen to it. It was huge. That is huge. I mean, I don't know what the fuck that was, but that is huge. Look at the way it's spreading as well. Yeah, that sounds a lot like what we heard, doesn't it? How far do we have to go back, do you think? Maybe find it again one more time. I don't think we have to go back an hour. I think we only had maybe to go back 10 minutes, 28 minutes max, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, now it's loading. Fucking Christ. There we go. There you are. Yeah, so listen to this. Okay, well, it sounds a bit bigger. Listen to this. It's very similar sound-wise. I think it's that one. So we have the answer here. Yeah, that was it. Well, I mean, you can recall having the test before now. The first time Denmark had the test on their phone was last year, so don't worry. It's not an uncommon thing to not have those things. In fact, there's not a lot of countries that actually have trained on using the phone systems. We're actually just getting into it here in Denmark as well. So trust me, it's not a new thing. It's really it's actually sorry. It's not. It is a new thing, is what I meant to say. So, yeah. You guys, can I share an opinion here? And don't hate me. This is a bit off track of what we're reporting here. Comedy, right? Why the fuck is it that nowadays what passes for comedy is the stories between a man and his wife having intimate, relations, sex between, each other, a private thing having between each other. And nowadays, the only thing that the comedians apparently are good at saying, is making an hour talking about them having sex with their wives. I just feel like, what happened to fucking comedy nowadays? Just saying, like it seems like they're just moving away from actually making like a good comedy series. Like they don't make good comedy anymore. They're just talking about having sex and how great it was being a teenager and stuff like that. It's like they're running out of jokes. I'm just saying. You don't have morals. Yeah. I'm acting like it. Yeah, like, oh, well, that wasn't a missile. That was a kamikaze drone. Kamikaze drones are the Russian, Iranian supplied drones, and Russians, I think, have copied the style as well. They are shaped as a Dorito with a sort of a plain spear at the top of it. And then they got a little small propeller at the top that makes a sound that's like a like that, Yeah, that was a drone. Kamikaze drones, they're getting bigger and bolder. And people think, these kamikaze drones, they look small when they get there, but actually that's just perspective. They're getting bigger. They really are. They're getting bigger and bigger. And they're getting bolder and bolder. They're packing more bombs and packing more explosive into a smaller area. Bharat, boys, Bharat. What does that mean, guys? It's India. India has changed its name to Bharat. Bharat. I told this in the start of the stream. I'll say it again. Bharat is what you're supposed to call India now. Of course, you can still call it India. Nobody's going to hate you for calling it India, but officially, it's actually called Bharat. And in 100 years, when we have grown about 10 generations, they're finally going to call it Bharat. And they're going to say, do you remember when we used to call it India back in the old days? Yeah. By then, we're all going to be long gone. But that's just... The air defense shoot down drones too. Air defense actually specializes in shooting down drones. They're actually easier to shoot down because they move slower. They just shoot down anything that they're targeted to shoot down. Heat, see, it's not like a big rat. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's a problem, Chance. I'm not saying anything about anything other than India. Nah. I mean, the only thing is, if you're ever gonna be traveling to India from now on, or I think it's gonna step in place. I don't know if it's next year or something like that, or if it's already there. But Bharat is actually what most people call India, and Indians usually call India Bharat, and that's actually where it comes from. But yeah, you know. Prince changed his names to the symbol. That's just having a bit ego, isn't it? I feel like that's a bit egoistic, isn't it? What's your name? The symbol. What do you call yourself? The symbol. I think that's a bit, maybe a little bit, egoistic. No, that's just what I call myself. So don't, fuck off. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for me and tonight's stream. I think I'm going to end up I'm going to stop streaming here. I'm tired and I want to take a little bit of a chill here. So, yes, I'm going to go to stop streaming now. Thank you so much for stopping by. We learned a lot today. We talked about a lot and we had a good time. I feel like certainly learned a lot as things are certainly happening. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't. Shoot me. Just fucking shoot me right now. Fucking shoot me. Oh my god. No. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I mean, I'm just... It's gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. I mean, I just... Oh, why? No, I can't. It's nothing to it's nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. There's nothing to do with the fact that she's anything really, really just has to do with the fact that I really don't think she's fit for the fucking job. She's not fit for the fucking job. She's not fit for the fucking job, man. Kamala Harris says she's ready to step into the role of president if Biden is unwell. I may have to take over. Actually, let me say it like she said it. I may have to. May have to actually. North Korea. That's how she actually said it. Let's see. Yeah. Well, great guys. That's a great thing to end up the stream with here. I think I actually kind of wish good health on Joe Biden. Yeah, I think I would hope Joe Biden is he's unwell, but I hope he's actually I hope he would get better. I hope he gets better. I hope he I hope he stays well. Yeah. Well, we're fucked.